What is up, everybody? I hope you are all having a wonderful day. It has been 5 days since Guardian Games has begun, and I have quite a few rolls of the new Title SMG. Now, normally, I don't review a weapon that I feel is mediocre at best, and that is the case with this new SMG, the Title. It is okay in PvE, but it's not that great inside of PvP, and there's too many contenders that really compete with it, like Shire's Wrath and Funnel Web. The list goes on and on and on. But since it is a featured weapon for the event and you will get multiple rolls of it, I figured I'd go over it anyways, and it's really not that bad. I collect the weapons anyways, even if they are trash right now, because in the future they could get buffed and you never know what could happen or how the sandbox will shift as time goes on. Now, getting started with PvP, that'll be the first thing that I go over with this weapon. First and foremost, you're going to want Arrowhead Break because it gives you 30 recoil and it boosts that recoil stat all the way to 100. So your weapon will fire straight vertical up and down. And it also gives you a +9 to handling. That is by far the best one. Now maybe if you're on mouse and keyboard, you could use full bore, but I personally like Arrowhead Break for this, as well as ricochet rounds. You'll get the +4 in range, +9 in stability, and I know for a fact that a lot of PC guys and console guys are also going with ricochet rounds. Now for the next trait column, you are going to want perpetual motion. It is by far the best trait in this column for PvP because perpetual motion states this weapon gains bonus stability, handling, and reload speed while the wielder is in motion. So all you really have to do is walk and you gain benefits to those stats I just mentioned. Now, dynamic sway reduction is also great as well, but you have to be shooting the weapon, and it takes 0.6 seconds before it actually triggers. So it greatly increases your accuracy and adds up to 10 stability, which is great, but perpetual motion gives you 15 stability just for walking around. So perpetual motion would be what I would be going after, and that's the role that I have that I'm telling you guys about. Now for my next trait, I have Swashbuckler. It gives me a damage increase, and that's really the only damage increase trait on here. The only other damage dealing perk that's on here or available for this weapon is actually one for all, but you have to hit 3 separate targets, and that can be hard to do inside of PvP consistently. Now, Vorpal Weapon is also on this weapon, but you can only take advantage of that inside of PvP when a Guardian's in their super. We also have Moving Target, which is okay. I prefer Swashbuckler though. I like the damage increase. For my masterwork, I am going with stability just because of the changes that Bungie has announced going forward with stability. I am going to grind out a roll with range as well, just in case. You know, I like to have a backup roll just in case Bungie decides to go back or change some things around with this whole airborne effectiveness stat. You know, that's going to relate to stability, resilience. There's going to be so many key factors. As far as my mod, you can really use targeting adjuster or Icarus grip or quick access sling. Those are pretty much my go-to, especially for SMGs. Now, this SMG does work really well with Void 3.0, and I feel like that's one of the letdowns with this weapon just because it deals void damage. There's already 2 other SMGs currently that deal void damage, and they work exceptionally well. The main reason why you want to grind out for this Title SMG is because of Classy Contender, and it gives you your class ability on kills. So, you know, with Loreley Splendor, with the Titans right now, it's very strong. You could use a Child of Old Gods repeatedly. You could run the Hunter and use 6 Coyote, have your dodge just all the time. And, you know, that's pretty much the real benefit from this weapon. It's not really anything amazing, I will say, but it's still a good weapon. And I would still grind for it just because you're still competing in Guardian games. So I wouldn't get rid of every single role. You're going to get plenty of them. It's not like you're wasting a whole lot of time on actually trying to go out and grind for a specific role of this weapon. You'll get tons of them. You turn in a set of medals and you'll get like 10 drops. So you might as well get one and get a god roll of one. I think one of the main reasons why this weapon is void because next season we're supposedly supposed to get another 3.0 subclass, whether that be the Arc update or the Solar update. And I feel like if Bungie would have released this weapon as a Solar or an Arc, then that would bring a lot of speculation, or it would just look suspicious as to what's coming next. I would have loved for this SMG mainly to be solar, just for the fact that we don't have too many solar submachine guns inside the game. Now for PvP, the final rating on Light GG is 3.6, and I'm not gonna lie, I was struggling a lot in PvP with this weapon because the recoil is just so bad. That's why I enjoy the arrowhead break barrel mod, and stability. That's the main key for this weapon, especially with perpetual motion. You want to try to get that stability up. One of the dislikes that I hate about this weapon is the aggressive frames only hold 27 rounds, and you will get outgunned in most cases, just because if you have a lot of enemies coming at you, you only have 27 rounds. There's not much you can do unless you're on the hunter. You can dodge real quick and, you know, get the reload on your weapon. But other than that, I mean, shotguns are the king right now, especially for the close quarters combat. So hopefully with these changes coming up next season, maybe SMGs will shine a little bit better. That's what makes Shira's Wrath so strong. It's a precision frame. You can sit back a little bit further because they have more range, and that's the bonus to the precision frames in itself. So I don't really see a place for aggressive frames. They're hard to really put anywhere. Like, I couldn't see myself running this weapon all the time or using it all the time. Like I said, the class ability is the best thing about this, is when you get the kills, you get the class ability energy. Now for PvE, the only thing that's really staying the same is the masterwork and the barrel. So for the barrel, I'm going to stick with arrowhead break to keep that recoil at 100. I'm changing my magazine perk to armor piercing rounds. That way I get the extra damage on shielded combatants. And then for the next perk, I'm going for stats for all, and then the next trait column will be 1 for all. You get that increase in damage. I mean, it's just pretty much just feeding into itself. It gives you a 35% damage buff. You hit 3 separate enemies, you'll get all your stats for all and 1 for all. You'll proc both at the same time, and it has really good synergy, especially with the new Void 3.0. But like I said, there are other weapons as well, like Funnel Web and Shira's Wrath, that I prefer over this weapon. But with everything going on with it, stats for all, 1 for all, and the classy contender perk work really well together. You can definitely feel the synergy between all of these perks that work together, and they synchronize, and everything just feels really good. It's a lot of fun using it. The only drawback, like I said, is it holds 27 rounds, and that's really not what I like. But for me, like I said, if you're going to go for PvE, arrowhead break, armor piercing rounds, stats for all, 1 for all is definitely a meme style gun. I really wouldn't use it inside of like Grandmaster or anything like that, but it's fun to use in regular Vanguard strikes, etc., etc. And you know, like I said, you're playing Guardian games, you might as well grind yourself out a good roll. You never know when things could change. This gun could be meta next season, who knows. With SMGs getting pretty much a big overhaul next season, I'll probably do a breakdown video of all the SMGs in the game, and we'll actually test them and see how they perform in the new sandbox with all the current changes and the airborne effectiveness and all that stuff. So I'm looking forward to that, but we'll just have to see. You know, like I said, I would still grind out a good roll, because another thing I forgot to mention is Shira's Wrath is getting a small nerf. I believe the zoom's going to be less than what it is now, so you know, this could end up being better than Shira's Wrath, who knows. We will just have to review those changes when the time comes. Other than that, it's a okay SMG. Definitely grind for it, just because you're already playing Guardian games. In the background gameplay, I'm sure you see me playing the Light Blade competitive playlist. It is a struggle with you randoms out there. If you watch my video and you are struggling in this Nightfall, if you are playing Titan, definitely take advantage of the arc. I was actually using a sword, Half Truth, Arion's Vow, and then Peace of Mind Pulse Rifle with the Thunder Crash. It worked really well for me. It's probably the best loadout. I've tried everything. Anarchy sucks, don't use it. Other than that, I hope you guys have a great weekend. I will see you all in the next video. Don't forget to grind out those medals. Get yourself a great roll of the Title SMG while you're at it. There's no reason why you shouldn't. If you like what you see on the channel, don't forget to subscribe and like the video. That does help out my channel. It's a free way to support me, and I greatly appreciate it. Going forward, I'll probably be doing some guide videos on these competitive playlists, just since a lot of people have been struggling with getting scores and stuff like that, trying to figure out what is the most efficient way at getting a high score. You got to remember that you got to get your medals, so you should probably start there first, whether it be getting precision kills or trying to run a melee build, etc., etc. But we'll see how that goes. Maybe I can do a build or a guide video. Unfortunately, it's a little late for me to do a guide video on the light blade, but next week I should be able to get one out. That way we can actually try to achieve the highest score possible without really having to work too hard for it. I'm sure we'll be crafting up another god roll, so keep on the lookout for that video. Like I said, with the next guide next weekend, because you know we have to wait till the next competitive playlist. So I'm not sure what that will be. I'm sure we'll find out during next week's reset, and I will continue to make those videos until Guardian Games ends. Also, be on the lookout for the new SMG weapon changes. We're going to be doing a bunch of videos on Sandbox. A lot of things are going to be changing, especially with the whole airborne effectiveness stat, and I really want to go in depth on that when those changes go live next season. Like I said, if you enjoy the content here, please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. It is greatly appreciated and is a free way to support me and my channel as well. I thank you all so much. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you guys in the next video.